Hi, how are you today? Today we're going to be talking about what expectations are holding you back. But first, as you come in, say hi, tell me where you're from. If you need to, have StreamYard allow me to see who you are so that we can have this dialogue on social media, right? And today I want to talk to you about those expectations that are put upon us. But first, let me introduce myself to those who do not know me. I'm Kelly Lee Sappenfield. I'm a fifth generation metaphysician, soul evolution coach, speaker, and author. And like I said, today we're going to talk about expectations, the good, the bad, and the ones that box us in, right? But like I said, as you come in, say hi so we can have this dialogue. This is, like I said, supposed to be social. And I hope the sun is out where you are. It's finally coming out here. It's been cloudy and drizzly and icky again all day today. And this warm weather girl is so ready to have warm weather again. I don't know about you, but let's talk about those expectations. We come into this world, we're born. First, expectations are to serve us in a lot of ways. Getting potty trained, learning how to use a fork and a knife and a spoon, but how to drink out of a cup without spilling it everywhere. There's expectations that are put upon us that serve us, right? Expectations that don't talk to strangers maybe when you're a child, that our parents and society tell us to fit into so that they keep us safe, right? There's a lot of expectations. Do good in school, do the best you can in school. But some people grew up with the expectation of you're going to have a 4.0 or else, right? Do those really serve you? Especially those expectations of society and our community and our family. Are they really serving you now that you're an adult? Now that you're an adult and you can make your own decisions, even though sometimes you don't feel like you're going to make your own decisions. How many of the time do you feel like you can't do something because of the expectations of others? And a lot of times it gets to the point to where those expectations box us in so tight, we almost feel claustrophobic. We almost feel like we're going to hyperventilate because we are so boxed in, we can't even move our arms, right? And some of those expectations are, well, this is how it's always been done. You go to school, you get a good GPA, you go to college, you get a good GPA, you get a degree, you go to work, and you pay your bills. And then you get married, and you have children, and you repeat the cycle. Well, what if you don't want to go to college? What if you want to go to trade school? What if you don't want to go to any school and you're a woman and you want to be a stay-at-home mom? There are expectations that some women put on other women. It's like, what do you mean you just want to be a stay-at-home mom? We're past that. We've evolved past that. And people put their expectations upon you. It is expected in this family for you to behave and do and act in a certain way. Their expectations our community puts on us, as far as the community expects you to act a certain way. And this is being really predominant right now with this being election season. I live in Texas currently, and I have heard a lot of the expectation that Texas is going to just automatically vote a certain way. And other people are trying to say, no, Texas can be a purple state. There's nothing wrong with the color purple. And other people are like, if you're not this certain way, then you're not a real Texan. And they have these expectations that they're trying to put on everybody else, right? As opposed to the expectation that, hey, you're an American. Let your voice be heard. Go vote. I don't care how you vote. Go vote. Let your voice be heard. See the difference? The expectation that they expect you to vote just a certain way. And you can get that from your community. You can get that from your family. You can get that from your country. Maybe it's, we have always believed a certain way, in a certain religion, in a certain philosophy. And if you say, I really resonate with this other belief system, then you get blowback, right? It backfires, and you get all these people going, well, that's not who we are. That's not what we do. That's not how we believe. And see, so expectations as we're adults, some of them, do we expect each other not to commit crimes? Yeah. Is that service as a society? Yes. But should we be putting our expectations on others to have a certain philosophy? No. Should we be putting our expectations on others to have a certain career or not to have a career? Or, is it okay to be a stay-at-home dad? Not just a stay-at-home mom, but, be a stay-at-home dad. Who here remembers the movie Mr. Mom? I may be dating myself here. But that was like, oh my gosh, what do you mean, Mr. Mom? Well, that's saying I'm not sticking in this box of expectations that do not serve me as an adult. If his character wanted to be a stay-at-home dad, and that's what he did, regardless of what anyone else said. And so I want you to look at where outside expectations have become this programming in your head and become a paradigm that's actually boxing you in and not allowing you to be your true self. Because the expectation you should have is, I want to be me full out, me the best of my abilities, me doing what I love and what sets me on fire. Not me falling in line with everyone else's expectations. Because it's like dimming the flame. Have you ever noticed on a candle? The candle has a whole room of oxygen to feed off of. It's going to its best ability. But you start shuttering the oxygen that feeds that flame, and that flame dwindles down to where it's barely there, and then it extinguishes. That's what external expectations and us worried about the good opinions of others come in that are detrimental to us as adults. Now, there are expectations that maybe, okay, I'm good with that. I'm good with the expectation that not only will I not harm someone else, but no one else will harm me or anyone I love. The expectations that we will all try to be to the best to each other as possible. And there is a truth that if you want society to change, you have to be the change. You have to change within, which means you have to become your true self out loud. Because when you become your true self and you see that vibration in your every inch of your being, physically and spiritually, that energy radiates out. And there's nothing anyone can do to stop that energy radiating out. And that affects change. You've been in a store and someone walks in and their energy, you're just like, ugh. And it could be that maybe they just got into a fight with someone, a loved one, over something, and they come into the store and they're just in that post argument energy, and yet you pick it up, right? And then there's the person that comes in the store and man, their energy is like uplifting the store. Well, when you live full out your energy is like this beacon, a vibrational beacon that goes out to anyone and everyone around you. And it raises their vibration, their joy, their happiness, their desire, even if it's unconscious, to be themselves too. We affect change outwardly when we do it internally. And one of the first things we have to do is, what false expectations am I living under that no longer serve me? And when you see one of those come up, you can be like, really? I've been letting this box me in. I've been letting this hold me back. And call it out for what it is. Because when you call out something and you acknowledge it, that's when you can change it. That's when you can break free of it. That's when that box becomes a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger until finally there is no box. So think about where it is that your expectations are not your expectations of what you want and what you desire and what you want to accomplish in this lifetime, but their external expectations. And break that bubble. Break it. Let go of them. Like I said, when we were kids, there were certain expectations that served us. And there's expectations as adults that serve us. I'm not talking about getting rid of those expectations. I'm talking about the ones that are boxing you in and keeping you from being your true self. It's the same thing as saying, you know what? I expect everyone's favorite color to be the color purple like mine. Well, that kind of sounds a little ridiculous, right? There's billions of colors and shades of colors, right? So who am I to tell everyone in the world that their favorite color has to be purple? Because my favorite color is purple. Makes no sense. You're probably saying, but mine's blue or green or red or yellow or tangerine or whatever it is. And that's what makes this fabric of humanity so gorgeous and vibrant. Is we're all unique. And when we all are unique, we all have that shining spark that woven together as humanity can make us great. But when we start allowing others to force us to live under their expectations, is when we start feeling the disharmony. And you can see this right now. There's a lot of people and some people that are in quote unquote power that wants everyone to live according to their expectations. And their main expectation is to stay in the place of power they are in. And that could be in a business, in politics, in religion, in just about every fabric of life there is. But you know what? You weren't put here to serve their expectations. You're here to be you, and you get to set your own expectations. Now, on your own expectations, some of us have a tendency for perfectionism, right? We don't want to move forward until we get it perfect. We don't want to do a live because maybe my mic's not the perfect mic, or my lighting's not the perfect lighting, or I have a dog toy in the background on the floor, right? What of us are holding us back because we have the expectation and the trait to hold ourselves back because in the name of, I can't put myself out there if it's not 100%, if it's not perfect, if it's not the way I think it has to be. And we judge ourselves by other people. And there's a saying, it's like if you're on chapter 1 in something, let's say you're just learning how to program websites, and you're in chapter 1, and you're just learning this. Are you going to say, I'm never doing anyone's website until I'm the equivalent of this person's chapter 20? Because if that's the case, you're never going to do anyone's website, because guess what? By the time you get to chapter 20, that person's on chapter 50. And you get into this expectation of having to be at a certain level, a certain place before you're willing to put yourself out there because of what you perceive as your competition. Instead of saying, you know what, I'm going out there. Some days my lives are going to be great. Some days maybe not so great. Some days maybe my hair will look halfway decent. Some days it may be a hot mess. Who cares? The thing is you being yourself. People don't want this perfectionism. You know, on social media especially, we went through this phase to where everything was photoshopped and glossed over, and oh my gosh, if you had a dog toy in the background, the world was coming to end and they would annihilate you, right? We're over that, thank goodness, but we're over that. That photoshopped world is not what people want. People don't want it from other people. So why do we try to force it on ourselves as a false expectation of ourselves that we have to have this perfect photoshopped reality in order to move forward? Perfectionism serves us to a degree, but there's a tipping point. Do you know when you've gone over that tipping point? And your expectations you've put on yourself are so unrealistic that basically you're telling yourself you're never going to do it. You're using it as an excuse never to do it. Because once you get to that point, you have to decide, okay, do I really want this? Do I really want this? Or, yeah, I'm good without it. Because if you're good without it, fine. Wait until it's perfect, which will never be, because there is no such thing as perfect. Or if it's, yeah, I really want this. I really want to learn how to do websites, or how to knit, or how to paint, or how to, I really want to become a nurse, or whatever it is. Then to say, it's okay, it's normal, everyone starts at chapter 1. And my chapter 1 is just as great as anyone else's chapter 1. But it's uniquely mine. And what makes it so freaking fabulous is all of us come in, we have our soul vibration level, and then we have all of not only our life this lifetime's experiences, but we have all of our lifetime's experiences and what makes us unique combined with that. And so it doesn't matter if you want to be an angel reader or an angel card reader, and you're like, well, I'm not this person. Well, that person wasn't that person when they were on chapter 1. And not only that, you'll never be that person because your soul vibrational level isn't identical to theirs, and your life experiences and what makes you unique isn't identical to yours, and that's on purpose. And we can have hundreds, if not thousands, of angel card readers, and they are all perfectly, uniquely them, and therefore it doesn't matter if they're on chapter 1, on chapter 7, on chapter 60. The problem we get into is the expectation we put on ourselves that somehow or another we have to be perfect. Or we can't start at the beginning. Now think about this. If we had done this as a kid, none of us would be crawling, let alone walking, because we can't learn to crawl, we just have to crawl. We wouldn't take our first step, we would just be running. Right? We would never look at a 9-month-old and it's like, seriously? You have to learn to crawl? Or you have to learn to walk? No, adults, we're like, I should be running the marathon before I ever even start walking around the block. So stop and think about where you're boxing yourself in with expectations that do not serve you, and where you're allowing others in society, in your community or your country, wherever it is, whatever it is, to put expectations that no longer serve you and put you in boxes. And start saying, you know what? Nope, this box no longer serves me. Nope, this box no longer serves me. And start embracing what does. Because that is magical. When we start embracing what is, as imperfect as it is, that's when the magic starts happening. That's when doors start opening. The adventure of learning who you really are starts happening. And there's nothing more magical and more blessed and more exciting than that. So no more boxes. But I will say this. It is my belief that as an American citizen, it is to let my voice be heard, to vote. And I really hope, I don't care who you vote for, but I really hope you let your voice be heard as well. And you get out there and you vote and you become an active part of this experiment we call the United States of America. Now, if to you that is an expectation that does not fit onto you, don't accept it. But if it is, go vote. And until we meet again next time, keep expecting miracles and take care. Bye-bye.